Okay, let's take a look at this essay. Cause and solution. So, it's becoming increasingly popular for people to travel to tourist destinations during public holidays. What problems does this cause? What are the solutions to these? Okay. Check our word count first. Let's see what we've got. Looks a little bit long. 395 words. Far too long. You don't need that. 300 or less is fine. You don't have time in 30 minutes to be writing 400 words, and you don't really need it. 12 sentences, maybe 14 at the most. 300 words, 4 paragraphs. There's no need for all this. So there's a progressive trend in travelling. Progressive trend, you mean it's becoming increasingly popular, or the popularity of travel is increasing. Progressive trend doesn't quite mean the same thing. Progressive trend in travelling does not mean the same as increasingly popular for people to travel. To go to tourism hotspots during national holidays. This can cause some environmental issues, increase the amount of rubbish, air pollution, which can be alleviated by government's drastic actions. Okay. The pitfalls related to the huge influx of travellers and tourist attractions could be, where does it say huge? It doesn't say huge. Does it say that huge? It just says it's becoming increasingly popular. Not quite the same as huge. Tourists enjoy their vacations. Well, it's not vacations. It's not tourists. Not tourists. It's people going to tourist spots during public holidays, like national days. It's not talking about tourists going on holiday in general. That's a different issue. Tourists enjoy their vacations, less likely to care about their surroundings, according to whom? Who says so? And tend to drop their garbage into different places. What kind of places? What, like in the bin? On the floor? Therefore, not only do these wastes... What kind of waste? Are they having a shit? What are you talking about? Make touristy areas unhygienic and smelly, but it can also threaten the wildlife living in some areas, such as seas and forests. Well, hang on. You've just said we go to touristy areas, right? So what's this got to do with seas and forests? You just said they go to tourist attractions, right? So what attractions are you talking about? Like in Venice? Well, there's no good forest or sea in Venice, is there? So I'm not quite sure how people leaving litter in Saint Peter's Square in Rome, or on the Great Wall of China, or the St. Mark's Palazzo in Venice is affecting seas and forests. That's something else entirely. For instance, on an island in the Bahamas. What island? What are you talking about? A large number of adorable can pigs actually swim in the Bahamas? Are you sure? I've never heard about this. Have been dying due to the ingestion of plastics left on the beach by tourists. Pigs don't eat plastic. Why? I'm not really sure what this example is supposed to prove. So, on an island in the Bahamas, okay, some pigs that swim have been eating plastic on the beach. That doesn't sound plausible. Okay, so that paragraph is a bit confusing. First it says tourists, but it's not about tourists, it's people going to tourist spots. When you're talking about vacations, dropping their garbage, presumably on the streets. So touristy areas, and then you're talking about seas and forests. How does that work? I don't know. We'll come back to that. In such places, travellers seem to be the main source of air pollution. They do. I thought the main source of air pollution in most places was the private car, like in Tehran or in Beijing. It's construction, industry, private car. It's tourists now? Okay. Tourists, and again, it's not tourists, it's people going to tourist spots on particular public holidays. Like in Beijing, they have several national holidays. They have like Tomb Sweeping Day and that Mooncake Festival, and I don't know. They have several days, and all the Chinese go to the Great Wall. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about tourism in general. That's something else. Tourists tend to visit every nice places or nice places during limited vacations, and they're not on vacation, it's a public holiday, leading to a rise in commuting of different kinds of transportation, ranging from buses, taxis and aircraft to ships. Well, I don't know how you're saying that the tourists cause this. Ordinary people driving cars and that stuff cause it. This increased air pollution can result in health issues for people living there. Take Venice in Italy, as I just mentioned, always swamped with tourists. Again, that's not the same thing. What's it say? It doesn't say tourists. People going to tourist spots during public holidays. So, cruise ships are responsible for increased pollution. Yeah, but it's not air pollution. It's water pollution. The water, until recently, in Venice was terrible. It was full of oil, full of shit. All the boats would be dropping the garbage over the side. That had nothing to do with air pollution. It's a boat. How does it pollute the atmosphere? It's not a car. So I'm not quite sure what that paragraph doesn't quite work either. Turning to remedies. First step might be enacting new laws by government to force tourists to new laws, okay. And again, it's not tourists on holiday. It's not. It doesn't say that. Imposing fines for littering in public places, but there are fines now. If you drop litter in most public areas, that's an offence. It's a crime. If I go and drop some shit outside in the street now and somebody reports me, that's a crime. So how is that new? Vandalising ancient monuments. Okay, well, I'm not sure what that's got to do with rubbish and air pollution. That's what you're supposed to be finding the solutions to. So you said the problems are pollution, air, rubbish and air pollution. But now you're talking about vandalising ancient monuments. What's that got to do with what you've said? That's what you said. Not, Okay. Could be an effective way, probably more waste disposal, facilities, more garbage bins. Okay, yeah, right, that part's good. Limiting, what is this now? Limiting the number of hotel rooms might address the issue of over-tourism and crowds or crowding. If hotels accept fewer, like what? Like, which hotel, right? Or that, hotel managers. But they haven't, though. Who said the hotel managers are not turning tourists down? That's how they make their living. So I don't know where you get this from. Number of tourists frequently commuting. Commuting is when you travel to work and back. That's what commuting means. From your home to work and back. Will decrease. So this decline can solve the problem of air pollution as well. How? So what? So if there's less people, there's less pollution, but people walking around the streets of Venice, unless they've got extremely bad breath or they have a flatulence, they're not polluting the air. So I'm not really sure how that addresses the issue. Limiting the number of hotel rooms. So this seems to be a pretty circular argument. Okay, to conclude, some possible concerns. Well, it's not kind of possible. You said, what did you say? You said specific issues, rubbish and air pollution. So it's not some possible concerns, it's definite concerns, such as air pollution. Where did you say that? Where did you say that? In your introduction, you said rubbish and air pollution. Then you go off and you're talking about some kind of pigs eat in plastic. Then you've got pollution, which I don't know how you believe that tourists cause this. These can be tackled by implementing strict rules by authorities restrictions in the number of hotel rooms. I don't know. I think you have too many ideas. It's not what you said in the introduction. You've gone off topic, extended it. There's all kind. This is why 395 words, it doesn't work. There's, you should have kept it simple. I'll show you an example in a second. So, it's a bit off topic, all parts of the prompt, because you go off. Appropriate formats, directly relevant, unclear, unjustified. Well, yeah, I think when you're talking about limiting hotel rooms and pigs eating plastic, I'm not sure what that is got to do with the topic and what you say. You said rubbish and air pollution, and then you're talking about overcrowding in hotel rooms. I'm not sure what that's got to do with what you originally said. Overly general, yeah. I would probably give task achievement a 6. If you'd focus more and focus on what you said in the introduction, you would have got more, but there's far too much material, there's no clear examples, it's too general, it just doesn't work. Right. Each paragraph has a clear central topic. No, it doesn't. There are several topics in a paragraph. If you'd have just stuck to what you said in the introduction, rubbish, pollution, boom. Paragraph number 3, how can we solve this? The government must take steps, blah, blah, blah. Boom, that would have worked. So the message can be followed, well, not as such, because you're going on about all different kinds of things. Logical organization, don't think so. Clear progression, coherently, well, you're jumping back and forth, up and down. Central topic, I would have to go for 6. Again, there's too much in this essay. It's too long, there's too many ideas. First, you say, I'm going to talk about this and this. When you talk about something else and something else and something else, you don't say what you were supposed to say. It's going back and forth, back and forth. That's not what the examiners want in terms of a good essay. Now, lexical resource is good. Vocab's good. I'd probably give it a 7. Do we have any uncommon idioms? Let's have a look. So, alleviated by government's actions. Okay. Huge influx of travellers. There's some good items here. Unhygienic. Ingestion plastics. I think actually there's some good stuff in that vocab. Matter of fact, I revised that. I'll give vocab 8. There's some good use of language in that. The grammar, let me have a look. So, number of sentences without a mistake. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, 10. 12, okay. So, not too bad. Error free. It's mainly articles. Punctuation error free sentences are frequent. Okay, I'll give it 7. If you had a little less, if you made a fewer errors, oops, that one's mine. Fewer errors, you would have got more, but I'll give it 7. I'll give it 7. I think that's quite fair. So, what did I say? 6, 6, 8, and 7. You should have got more. You should have got more. But cohesion, coherence, and task response are a little bit low. Okay. Now, I'll show you mine very quickly, just to give you some idea. Now, mine's 289. Okie doke. So, more and more people are travelling to tourist spots on national holidays, not tourists in general, right? This increasing number of visitors results in traffic congestion and litter. So that's my 2 ideas, right? Traffic congestion and litter. That's what I'll be talking about. A possible solution to this could be to charge people for admission, and you can spend that cash on better management of traffic and litter collection. So, 2 problems: going to tourist spots on national days, too many cars, and the dropping a load of shit around. Okay, so that's all I'm talking about. There's nothing extra here. Okay, right? Every public holiday, because it's not about tourism in general. It's pretty specific. On public, you know, like the 1st of May, or here the 9th of May. Then you've got Easter, you've got, you know, all these days. There's Independence Day, there's Constitution Day. So these public holidays, right? So every public holiday is common to see many visitors flocking to popular attractions such as national parks, etc. This popularity comes at a cost of traffic congestion, as many people travel by car. That's okay, right? And littering, as many people are not so particular about taking their rubbish home. Okay, so for example, the North Yorkshire National Park estimated 4 million day trips a year, and leave approximately 5 tons of rubbish every million visits. Okay, so you can see that's what I'm talking about by having that focus, right? Only what I mentioned in the introduction: traffic congestion, too many cars, and litter. All right, so to solve these problems, if people had to pay, then the income could be spent on hiring staff and employing people to pick up their crap. So such a scheme may be unpopular, blah, 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 blah. Well, for example, the local council in the Lake District, they charge £10 per car. So if you go to a beauty spot to park, you pay £10. They spend that on paying people to come and clean up your crap. So there you go, nice and simple. In conclusion, increasing tourist numbers can have a negative impact on popular spots, ameliorated by policy of fee charging to be spent on facility management. 289 words. Okay, so that's what the examiners want. Now I'll just put this all on one screen so you can see it there. Okay, though. So see the difference, right? See how mine's, you know, shorter, more concise, and focused, right? I don't mention anything that I don't talk about. There's none of this jumping about from idea to idea. This is the problem: traffic congestion and litter. The solution: charge people to go to these places. Not about tourists in general. Not about that. People particularly going for a day trip to a national park, which is more or less what the question was talking about. Okay, right. Leave that there. Hope that helps.